Hello and welcome to this episode of Live with Lizzie, powered by the China Project. Joining me today is Mr. Pavel Slukin, a visiting fellow at the European Council on Foreign Relations, a former Belarus diplomat. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So Pavel, on Twitter, you recently shared a captivating episode from your diplomatic career involving Qin Gang, the former Chinese foreign minister during his time as head of the protocol department. I wonder if you can kindly provide a brief recap of that experience interacting with Qin Gang.
It was, I would say, maybe the toughest experience of my protocol episode of my diplomatic career, just because the protocol of China is incredibly huge. And this means that they bring plenty of people who are responsible for small parts of the program. So when Chairman Xi Jinping was visiting, it meant that there was a preparatory team that dealt with the issues of protocol, security, information, and so on and so forth. And the team of Belarus consisted only of 11 people, including all the bosses. While from the Chinese side, hundreds of people came. And this was not an easy experience in terms of preparation, just because we needed to start month before, and we were continually repeating everything that he has negotiated on the visit, all the time, repeating the same things. And it seemed that for our Chinese colleagues, it was extremely important to have it confirmed every day on every level. So they usually confirmed it on different levels, not only through their leadership, the foreign ministry or the leadership of the protocol department, but also on the level of younger diplomats who were engaged in the process. So when Xi Jinping came, we had a very hard first day, and it ended with a private visit of him by the invitation of Lukashenko to the private house of Lukashenko, and it was late night, and then Mr. Qin Gang, he decided that he needs to check again what is going to happen tomorrow, to see how places, if they are ready for tomorrow. It was 2 a.m. at night, and he decided that we should go and see the museum if it is ready for the visit. I said no, because it was already so late and I couldn't see it possible. But my boss agreed, and then we came there. My colleagues woke up the deputy director of this museum, and we had an excursion, and it was kind of a surreal a bit, because the Chinese protocol diplomats that were counting steps on the staircase, asking me what step will Chairman Xi touch step, and when will the music turn on. And obviously, this is again the difference of the protocols. We would never think of that. It doesn't really matter for the European protocols, but it really mattered for my Chinese colleagues. And it was not the point that was discussed before. So I just pointed to a random step, and they noted it in their notebooks, saying that, okay, this should be a 39 or I don't know, 41st step, and then the music will be turned on. Obviously, during the visit, it didn't happen, but it didn't create any real or serious problem. I think this is, again, their example of when you have so many people who are responsible for every element of the program, like 5 people welcoming the boss near the entrance, then 5 people who are escorting him to the place where he will be addressing his speech, then 5 more people in the hall, then more people in the airport, and so on and so forth. On every place of the program, there will be several people who are in charge of this small element of the program. And obviously, it is extremely important to them to be to show the efficiency, to show that they do know the job. And that's why I think that they were asking that this questions. And my personal experience, my personal meeting in the morning of the second day of the visit, we had a short breakfast together with the former foreign minister of China, Mr. Qin Gang. Yeah, and we discussed what happened yesterday was going to happen tomorrow. And yeah, he looked like a boss who is not so happy to be approached by some younger colleagues, or I mean, this is part of their strict hierarchical system, bureaucratic system of China, a very conservative, a very traditional one, and diplomacy is a part of it. So many people who were working for the embassy, who came together with the leader of China, they try to avoid direct communication with the chief of protocol, just because they were people between them. So sometimes it looked like people are afraid talking to him. I don't think that this is something that relates to his personality, but probably to just this conservative and very strict way of communication between Chinese bureaucrats, between senior and younger people.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating, fascinating. So looking back on your interactions with Qin Gang, do you think any specific factors or decisions contributed to his rise within the Chinese ranks? And kind of, what sets him apart as a diplomat and as a leader, as far as you can?
Look, there is a very important disclaimer. We met only once. It was 8 years ago, and we had a very short period of time when I could observe him, or where we could have a short talks. So this is a very subjective observations. Mm-hmm. I would say, I mean, and this is my hypothesis, is that his cosmically fast career promotion was possible just because he was that close to the leader of China for a pretty long time when he had a protocol department, and it gave him a special position, even in comparison to some senior colleagues who were heading maybe political departments or were deputies of the foreign minister, but they didn't have this opportunity to whisper into the ear of Chairman Xi. And this was something that gives protocol to every boss. If you are always close to the body, when you're always close to your boss, you have the chance to show your efficiency, your loyalty, and to talk to him. So I think that this is one of the explanations maybe of his speed career growth. But what happened next? I mean, this is the surprise. I don't know. I mean, I don't have any insights. I can only guess or speculate on that. But I think that this is, again, when you rise fast, then you can fall fast too.
Fantastic. As a seasoned former diplomat, do you anticipate any significant repercussions on China's foreign policy priorities due to this recent leadership change? As you know, Qin Gang has been replaced by his predecessor, Wang Yi.
I would say that the difference would be the same. I don't know if some Chinese colleagues or citizens or those who watch China much closer than I do, if they really notice some changes when Wang Yi was replaced by Qin Gang. I don't. I mean, maybe there are some, and I repeat it again, I don't follow much, but I don't think that they were radical or big ones. So the decisions on the main foreign policy issues are decided on the level of the leader of China, the leaders of the Communist Party, and some other senior guys who were around him. So the position of foreign minister is an important one, but it's not the one that would change the whole perception or the whole strategy of the foreign policy. So I would say that their changes from Qin Gang to Wang Yi would be the same that we observed when Qin Gang changed Wang Yi just 8 months ago. Or saying it shorter, no real or big changes. And we see now they are purging the website, cleaning all their information about Xinjiang, all the pictures when he was minister, all the meetings he had. First, they did it with the Chinese language version. Now they are doing that with the English version of the website. And the official representative of the foreign ministry, she avoids answering any of the questions that was asked. And there were around 20 questions at the briefing today in the foreign ministry, which shows that this is a very sensitive issue, uncomfortable, and they try to hide it up. So I think that their necessity to bring Wang Yi back means that first, Wang Yi's position inside the Chinese system are very strong, and he is thought to be one of the most, or maybe the most experienced and trustworthy diplomat. And when something went wrong, they asked him to come back. And yes, this means that the Chinese foreign policy under him is assessed by the leader of China as successful, as the one that, the result that you have, that they are sufficient and satisfactory for his boss, meaning Xi Jinping. So when their problematic times came, and probably something serious happened, so that you need to sack your foreign minister, that this hints us that something really serious happened. You just ask for the person who you can really trust to bring stability back to the foreign ministry. And that is the reason why Wang Yi was brought back. And now we should be following if he will stay for a longer time, which is kind of probable, I would say, or this would be a temporary way of and temporary position, and after that they will be trying to find another person who will be heading the foreign ministry.